Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show for tonight. It's the live stream for our podcast. We're going to be hopefully finishing up the second part of Dreaming of the River of Night. It's been a couple of months since we've played, so hopefully you remember what the hell happened. I'll give you a little bit of a recap from what I can remember. We started off in Tibet in Vinny's club. One of the patrons came in to pay off his debt with a big chunky gold nugget. Gave Vinny, Petra, and Darryl a map to this secret location of where he found the stuff. So we undertook an adventure to go find it. We stopped at a little village on the way out, made friends with the village chieftain, shared some buttered tea that maybe was drugged, maybe not. I don't know. There's some ambiguity as to the mental state of the characters. We found. It kind of looked like a rat, but with like face tentacles and stuff. Told us not to shoot it. It's like a whole weird thing.
Yeah.
It said that it was going to be. It knew where we were going, and it was okay that it knew that we were going to be there. So that was kind of weird. And then as we found the place, and sort of as we were going into the crevice into this other land. Some of the accoutrement that they carried sort of reverted back. So Vinny's lighter turned into a flint and steel. Petra's mirror, a little compact, turned into a little shiny piece of silver. And then Darryl's watch turned into like a sanddial. As we went in, we were attacked by a tentacled creature under the water. There was a huge cyclopean city underneath the river. We were able to escape. And started to collect some jewels and things on the shore. And as we started to move off the beach and further down, our little tentacled rat friend appeared and told us we should probably hurry as a large, well, we know it's a gug, but as this large, horrifying creature comes, tumbling, trundling down the hallway. And as we move further into the cavern, it opens up and shows us a beautiful white city. And our little ratty friend told us that all of our questions would be answered there, and it's the city of Celloface, and that's where we left off outside the city. We were on our way to get our questions answered, I suppose.
Correct. So you came out of, and I guess you came out of where you were going through the tunnels, and you came out, and the little rat tentacle face thing was helping you come through, and he said that you had reached the Tenarian Hills and the city of Celloface. So when you looked around, it looked like a Tibetan setting, but there was just something about it that gave you the feeling that it was, very, very old. Not old as in falling down or in disrepair. Just it had been there for quite a long time. You looked around and something, it seemed a bit off about it. It was maybe the colors of the sky. So it's not just very blue sky. Everything in the sky was tinged maybe like a pinkish color. So just some of the colors looked off, but it looked like a very, very ancient area that you were in. And your little guide said that he would take you or point you to in Celloface to go meet the king of Celloface. So the king's name is King Coronis. So he brought you out and said that he would point you in a direction to meet the king of Celloface. So I think that's kind of where we left off with, you were looking around and you saw ships flying through the air. So they look like just regular sailing ships, maybe sailing ships that were older, stereotypical. If you looked in, if you remember back from school, they almost looked like, the Christopher Columbus ships, big wooden ships with big sails, and you saw them, a couple of them flying through the sky. So right now you are in Celloface, and your little guide had mentioned about meeting the king. So
can we just have a quick refresher? Who's everybody playing?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So let's go with, John, do you want to just introduce your character real quick?
My name is Darryl.
Which one are you talking about? That's the thing.
Alpha or
John's here.
I have it written on top of my paper too. I forgot. So let's go with John H first. Sorry,
Jesus
John
fucking Christ.
Alpha.
So this is John Alpha, I guess. So this is Vinny or Vincenzo. I gotta look at my last name, DeCarlo, and I am a respectable club owner. And so we're on a little bit of an adventure, and we're gonna find some gold, and we're maybe gonna get some answers here. Eh?
Okay, now let's go the other John.
Yes, my name is Darryl, and I am an adventurer. I'm a dilettante, and I can't wait to get some answers myself. I act a lot older than I truly am, for some reason.
Oh, what's a dilettante?
Someone who enjoys speaking and doing and talking a lot about things and acting like he knows a lot about them when truly he does not.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you knew.
That's a literal definition that I was able to find.
Okay, so Dani.
I'm playing Petra Rivers, and she is an entertainer who loves fur, and she's Vinny's sweetheart. And I apologize for not dressing up as Petra this time, but I just came from the beach and I'm nice and toasty, so it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, so that is the cast of the characters for the rest of this adventure. So you are outside looking at, a city with a bunch of hills. A little further up, maybe about a 15-minute walk, you see, you're assuming is the central kind of building of the area. It's Tibetan. It looks familiar Tibetan kind of build. As I said, it looks very ancient. It looks in good shape, but it looks like it's from a time, from a time of not the Tibet, not the Lhasa that you're used to seeing the buildings around you. But you can tell it is kind of a similar make as the buildings that you're used to seeing. So, do you want to head straight for the building? Do you want to look around for a little bit?
Didn't we just find some valuable shit?
So you found a whole bunch of jewels and you loaded up while you were walking through. I think we said it was, different kinds of gemstones. I can't remember if we said if there was gold or not, but I know there was just a bunch of different gemstones lying around on the ground before you had to hightail it from the gug or the big monstery thing that was coming through. But yeah, so you guys each kind of filled up your pockets or your bag with a bunch of
filled
jewels.
up anything possible, right?
So there was also a bigger stone that was found, and I think Darryl had found it, but doesn't Petra have that now?
The one she stuck down her shirt?
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to make sure. Yeah. So Darryl found it and Petra grabbed it. Yep. So there is a bigger stone. I don't know if we had described what it looked like before, color or anything like that. I think we just said it was just a big gemstone. So I'll leave that.
Unfortunately, it is now lost down to the shirt of Petra, never to be seen again.
Not by you.
Oh, of course not.
Petra drinks from this because she's classy as fuck.
We'll let Petra decide, the color and cut or whatever, but it is a substantially sized diamond that was found, or, big gemstone that was found. So Petra does have that now. So yeah, you guys are all loaded down. Well, not loaded down. There are,
you have like a half a sack full of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it was all just scattered across the ground when you were walking through, and that was one of the things. Charlie Hodson was the guy, the Canadian miner who was off. That's he did tell you that there were riches to be had. So you have partaken of some of those riches already. So
is the little rat guy still with us?
Yes, he's just standing there. He's waiting to see you. He pointed out where the king was. So it was the big building. He's just standing there. It's up to you if you want him to follow with you, or he was just kind of, you got the feeling that he was just happened to be at the right place at the right time, or they were, he was keeping an eye on you when you were going through. So, he's kind of pointing out, he told you to get through and into the city, and then, where the king was. So,
Yeah.
If there's a king, we have to see him. Like, he's got gold and riches, and we gotta go to him.
Yeah,
Right?
I think we got to go in there and like introduce ourselves and make sure that like he's okay with us like being here. We don't want to snub the guy, right? Because then, he can get all pissed off, and we don't want that.
You always ask the lord of the manor or the king of the area before you go pillage and otherwise bandying about their lands. It's just good form.
We found this. This isn't his property yet. It's not his castle.
He's the king, is he not?
Just a title. Unless
Well, maybe
he's
he's just maybe he's just a king in a city, right? Like maybe the shit all on the beach there. Maybe he doesn't care about that stuff,
You mean the ruins?
Yeah, like where the fucking tentacle was and shit, down by the water. Maybe they don't go out there.
Eloquent as ever.
Well, yeah, I do me.
You do you very, very well. That is true.
Hey, I thought I did you.
Well, I was kind of open, but
That's what she said, literally.
she did say that. Yeah.
She literally just said it.
I just meant I was having a moment. This rock it's getting to me.
I don't know about you two, but I am certainly going to have a look around the area. This architecture is unique and certainly doesn't appear anywhere else in the area.
Are you okay with the creatures that just like attacked us?
Absolutely not, but I am choosing to believe they are in my imagination, of course.
Right, like the talking rat.
Yes, of course.
So the talking rat kind of looks up at you guys when you say that and say, I'm sure the king wouldn't mind you looking around, but
I didn't hear anything.
Maybe it is a good thing if... Oh, did I put it on mute?
No.
No,
It's just being...
Just I'm not acknowledging the existence of the rat.
I see what you mean. Okay. So then if he looks away from Darryl and says, for your own convenience and being able to get the most out of looking around, the king would definitely be able to help you and point you in the right direction and maybe send out some guides with you so you don't get lost.
So is this king? He's a good dude. Like he's fair and just and all that kind of shit.
He is a very benevolent king.
All right, look, we should. Can you take us over to like where he is? Are you like one of his like subjects?
I live here, so I guess you could consider me a subject. I will walk you over to the king's palace, but I don't think I'll be going in. I'd spoken to the king in the past week or so, and there's nothing new that I need to discuss with him. But I will take you over to to his palace.
He's rich, right?
He is rich beyond anyone's estimation.
And you are a rat, right?
I don't know what a rat is. I am what I am. I'm trying to remember last time he was playing a lot of word games with you, right? I do not know what this rat is. I am what you see before you.
You kind of look like a fucking rat with fucking tentacles and shit. Does that help you eat? What is that about? Like it's a really strange thing to see something with that much shit on its fucking jaws and whatnot.
Vinny, can you imagine the coat he would make with the fur here and the tentacles like a scarf?
That's kind of gross. Yeah, maybe, but it's kind of, yeah. No offense to you and your form that you inhabit and whatnot.
So he looks at Petra and says, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did help you guys come through the caves, did I not?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about killing you for a coat. I mean, who would do that? I think Petra had a fur coat on, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
So he kind of shakes his head, and you see all the little tentacles kind of wiggle back and forth. And he says, I think maybe you should make your way over to see the king.
Yeah. That sounds good. Let's go do that.
Okay.
Like, he gets right up next to Petra and says, maybe don't talk about the rat thing like that.
But do you know how cool it would be? If
I
I got cold, I could just like go.
But he's not that big. Like, it would only go over like one shoulder. I don't like. We don't gonna.
So I'm assuming you guys are doing a walk and talk while you do
Yeah.
that. So you're just walking, and he just stands there, and you see him just kind of shake his head, and then he just walks. He kind of walks back towards the cavern, not fast or anything. He just turns around and starts walking away. So you're just walking over. I mean, it's a pretty straight path. It takes you about 5 or 10 minutes to walk there. You're looking around. It is, it brings to mind, kind of the landscape that you're used to seeing, mountains and hills everywhere, clouds, skirting by, but it has nice, pinkish hue to the sky, almost like perpetual sunset in the summer. You get that kind of color to the sky. So you're walking over to the palace. And when you get up to the front door, there's just a couple of, you're assuming, monks, one on each side of the door. They're wearing yellowish kind of robes, same kind of robes that you're used to seeing, maybe just a different color, a color that's off than what you're used to seeing, but they're just standing there on either side of the door. And the door is actually open, so it's not closed, and they're just kind of standing there.
I guess Vinny would try to greet them in Tibetan to see, since the style looks the same. Like, even though there's like creatures and shit, they look. Oh, this looks normal now. So let me, try to say something there.
So they acknowledge your greeting, and they speak back, and it's in English. So. They say, welcome to the palace of King Karanis, and, you may enter whenever you may enter.
Okay, yeah, I guess we go in. How long, you guys live here? You've been here like a long time, or?
And they just kind of both shake their head and say yes.
Okay, yeah, it's well, what do you guys do down here? Is there anything like you guys just kind of like stand around down here, or what's the deal?
During our time at the gate, we stand here. Other times we go and pray or do anything that, do some adventuring or exploring, but we tend to stick to the city itself.
Yeah, there's fucking monsters out there. You seen that shit?
They kind of both look at each other and say, back through the cave, do you mean?
Yeah, we came in across the water. There's fucking tentacles, and then this thing, its head was all fucking sideways with the big mouth and shit.
You can rest assured there will be nothing. You will see nothing like that in the city. You are safe and out of any danger.
Now, Petra, we can't understand a word he is saying. First of all, I am extremely surprised he even knows Tibetan, but I can't believe that he was able to transfer his ridiculous accent over to Tibetan. Can you?
Maybe he's drunk. I don't know. I don't know what they're saying, but I could use a drink. Could you?
I never drink when on adventure.
That's why you're you.
Yes, it is. Quite.
Well, Vinny, what's he saying?
And what are you saying?
I said fucking hello in Tibetan, and a guy speaking English. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't understand what the hell he's saying?
What is the Tibetan word for fucking?
He would know it. Whatever it is, he would know it.
Sorry, I froze up there for a minute.
No, it's just character shit. They're
Just doing dumb shit.
Vinny, just so you know, he called your accent, he called it ridiculous.
He was standing right here. And I was remarking on how impressive it was that he was able to keep the accent in different languages.
Hey, look, I'm from fucking Brooklyn. You got a problem? You sound like you're down there from fucking, I don't know, fucking Wales or some shit. Where the fuck do you come from?
Yeah, you sound like
Wales.
you have a stick up your butt.
Not anymore, but yes, Wales indeed.
Oh, all right. See,
Spot on. Since when have you been a linguist? This is sincerely a pleasant surprise.
wow, you've been hanging around my fucking joint for a long time. I guess you must have told me sometime.
I didn't realize that you were such a cunning linguist.
Ho ho ho!
I can vouch for that.
Yeah. So let's probably we should just go in it, huh?
Probably a good time to go in.
Always.
Okay, so obviously the guards are just listening to you and shaking their head, and they kind of have a smirk on their face. And they, wave you through in through the front door. Walking down a hallway, it's dimly lit. There's some candles down along along some shelves set into the wall. It's pretty much straightforward, and you come into a room, and you see a big table, kind of a big rectangular table running long ways down the room. And at the front of it is a man sitting down on a cushion. So obviously the table is a lower table, and there's a bunch of cushions around the edges. And there's a man sitting at the front, and along the table there looks like there's all kinds of silver bowls with all kinds of what you're assuming is fruit. So it looks like fruit, but it doesn't look like any fruit that you're used to seeing. But it has that kind of look, the fleshy, carved in the quarters. Some glass pitchers filled with water, some other glass pitchers filled with, different colored liquids. So he's sitting there, and he just says, "Welcome, strangers. I am King Karanis, dreamer of Cellophase, and welcome to my city."
Did he say dreamer of Cellophase?
Yes. Dreamer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh well, thanks for having us in here. We met this little well, he kind of looked like where we come from. He looks like a fucking rat with the things on his face. But yeah, he told us that you were in here. We thought we'd come in and introduce ourselves and whatnot.
Yes, I had heard reports that there were some people coming through the caverns on the edge of the city, and the little friend that you had met is just one of many of those of that type that live in the area, and he obviously taken a liking to you and helped you through to the city.
Yeah, we met him out. We met him out on our way up here, and then and again when we came in.
I think he said his name was Rizzo. Rizzo the rat.
Yes. Quite.
So the King Karanis looks over and says, "Please take a seat. Refresh yourselves. There's things to eat and drink on the table, and I would be interested to hear a bit of your story on how you've gotten here."
Vinny kind of looks to the other two like, "Oh, do we really want to tell him we're kind of loot the place?"
No, I have nothing. I just that drink. Can I have some?
It's everything is set out for your refreshment, so please. So if you guys, are moving up, you see a couple of robed men come in from a side door, and they come out and start, setting some plates and some glasses and cups down, and start, dishing out and serving out some of the things at a couple different place settings for you to sit at. So they just come out, and the king says, please, sit down and please refresh yourself. And he reaches over and grabs a glass and takes a drink and takes a bit of the food there and takes a bite of it.
Yeah, Vinny will sit down. Well, he helps Petra sit down first.
She'll totally sit down first.
And then he pulls up a cushion next to her.
Yes, as does Darryl. My, your Highness, Majesty, the Dreamer, we have come on adventure to search these lands for intricate relics and certain trinkets that we were, it was intimated to us that may exist here that are of strange quality.
It's not very often we get visitors coming from through the caverns. We have in the past, and it is my duty as the king of the city to welcome you and help you with any questions that you may have, and make sure your stay is enjoyable and exciting.
You have done so with aplomb, and we appreciate it. We are not plunderers or pirates, so we wanted to visit with you first to make sure that what we will be doing is acceptable to you and yours.
Well, I don't get the feeling from any of you that you mean any harm or violence to myself or my city, so I would gladly be of any assistance or help if you were here to explore and take in the scenery.
This is the part where I would perfectly remember and recollect exactly what we wanted to do here and get out of this visit to your wonderful city and town.
I think what Charlie was telling you when Charlie handed over the map to pay off his debt was there's tons and tons of riches to be had, and all you have to do is go up and find it. So I think what Charlie had told you was they had found, lots of jewels and gems and gold around, and he showed you obviously the big gold piece, the gold nugget that he had. So I think, you guys were just coming up to see what you can find and line your pockets as much as you could.
Do we don't show him out of character. We don't show him the nugget, do we?
I think at some point, I think Vinny would say like, oh, have you ever met Charlie? Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Like,
that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Kind of above board, right? Maybe.
Yes.
Because the rat thing was like, if you treat us with respect, we'll treat you with respect.
like reach into Petra's dress and pull out the nugget. Where's more of these things? Huh? Where's more of these fucking things? You don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Do we need any more? Don't we have a shit ton of gems that could
yeah, we probably have a small fortune already, right?
Yes, but we would like a large fortune. So, of course, we will continue to search and around here.
I guess the key is, so obviously you all have probably a small fortune on you. The key is to make that fortune repeatable and findable again. I guess it's
sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. So sustainable mining. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So you've gotten a lot. You've made it here from the map Charlie gave you. You made it here not without a few, close situations or, some running through some scary stuff. But obviously the key would be, let's see if we can come back again, because there seems to be there's lots of stuff just lying around. So
there's a very specific roadmap that has been laid out over the course of the years where people will come to a new land, see something they want, and just take all of it. And that's all we're doing here. It's fine.
So if you do want to mention Charlie,
yeah, he would.
Yeah. Okay. So yep. Go ahead.
He's gonna say, so when Reggie finishes, he's like, yeah. So we had a friend that provided the location here for us to come and find your beautiful city. His name was Charlie. You ever meet that guy? He didn't say actually talk to anybody, but apparently he was, he was here in the kingdom and all.
I do not remember meeting anybody or speaking to anybody outside of my city or anyone in the Tenarian Hills around me. It's been quite a while since we've had visitors in the palace, but there have been reports from obviously your little friend that showed you the way that there have been people from your area. I didn't want to say world. From there have been people coming through and looking through the caverns in the past, but no one has deigned to make their presence known to me in the palace itself.
Shameful.
I mean, who wouldn't want to meet a king?
Yeah, right? I mean,
a dreamer king, no less.
I can be very helpful, and I'm very friendly, as you can see in front of you. So I always like to have visitors. That's kind of the only responsibility I have as a king is just to make myself available for anybody comes in and show them the city and answer any questions that they would have. And obviously to find out about them also.
This fruit is delicious. What do you call it?
Oh, you bastard.
Tell me all about the fruit, the history of all the trees and everything that grows upon it.
So the king looks over, and so the keeper doesn't give him a dirty look, but the king doesn't give him a dirty look. The keeper gives him a dirty look.
I feel as though I'm being given a dirty look from somewhere.
So King Karanis says, "I've been the king of the city for quite a long time. Just from my past experience with speaking to visitors from the outside, I wouldn't want to shock your beliefs or sense of your place in the world, but I have been here and have been a king for quite a long time. During those times, I've had many visitors. The vast majority of them have been peaceable and were just here to expand their knowledge or understand more of the world around them. The food you see on the table in front of you is from the surrounding areas. Obviously, we have some of the people in the city work the land itself, so they have brought this to as part of the tribute they pay to the upkeep of the city is to keep everybody fed and happy. So this is what you see in front of you, and I have been here for quite a long time. Let's just put it that way.
How old does he look? Like, he keeps saying he's been here a long time. Does he look like middle-aged? Does he look like he's an old man?
He doesn't look like he's a monk that's been living up in the mountains for, decades and decades. So he just looks like a maybe, not near middle age. So, he's, he looks Tibetan, he has that, from what you've seen in Lhasa and Tibet itself, he just looks like, he looks like a Tibetan. The colors of everybody's robes are a bit different. They're not the same colors as the robes that, a lot of the Buddhist monks or even, the regular citizens of Lhasa or Tibet wear. But, it's that same kind of cut. Obviously a bit different colors, and maybe the colors here, everything here, the colors look more vibrant. Maybe, there's more pastel colors or, more bright. You're used to seeing gray or brown on everybody. So here, everybody looks to be a bit more colorful. But yeah, he looks like he's, just coming up to middle age. He looks, shaved head, all that kind. He just looks like he's in pretty good shape for a guy, and he doesn't look like a monk that's been out, in a monastery his whole life.
Your Majesty, I almost got killed in a boat today. I haven't showered in 24 hours. I'm thirsty and tired. can we sleep here tonight and maybe you can show us how to get back home and how to get back in so we can visit?
You are welcome to stay in the palace as long as you want. If it is a way back home, we can discuss that. If you would like to look at things around the city or its close environs, you can do that too. I can arrange that for you. So it's whatever you would want to do.
You said we can stay in the castle. Do we have servants?
You will have some of the men around will show you what you need. They will show you to your room, and they will show you where you can go to refresh yourself. I don't know if I would necessarily call them servants, but they are here to serve. They are here to serve you.
Vinny.
Whoa.
He leans in closer. He's like, it kind of sounds like a fucking servant to me.
I don't know if I'm going to want to leave.
I mean, there are fucking monsters outside, right? I mean,
Hey, but if we stay in here and she'll look over to Your Majesty. So there's no string attached if we stay?
There is none at all. We love to have visitors. I would only request, if you do want to go out and see some more of the city, that you would please let me know so I can set you up with some guides to show you where you need to go or where you would like to go. I would not like anything to happen to you while you are here and under my hospitality. So it is, the city is open to you.
So just so I'm clear, if we stay here, we don't have to contribute to society or you in any manner. We can just be here. I mean,
Way to put your cards all on the table.
I'm just saying, I don't think I'm going to want to leave.
So just from my past experience, dear lady, I would say that you are welcome to stay as long as you want. From when we've had visitors of your, of your type, that sounds kind of weird. So when we've had visitors from your lands in the past, the wanderlust has kind of taken them after a while. So I wouldn't expect that you would all become a completely static part of the environment. We tend to see people come and go, which is absolutely fine. I would just, as I said, for my own well-being of mine, that if you would want to go out and move about, just let me know so I can send someone with you or ahead of you to prepare the way.
What are they going to protect us from? You said keep us safe. More of those sea creatures?
You are in a strange land. You're not used to everything around here. It is very different from what you're used to. So it would just to be mostly just to keep you on the path of where you need to go. You can go wander around and look around if you would like, but since you are new to the city, I would not like to see anything happen to you just out of carelessness or not knowing where you're at. So I mean, you get the feeling from him that he's not saying, yeah, that's crazy out there and there's lots of stuff that'll get you if you go out. I think it's more the fact that he's saying, you're in a brand new city, up in a mountain somewhere, there's high peaks and valleys everywhere. So, you want to go tumbling off somewhere if there's a snowdrift or a rickety bridge or thing like that. So you just kind of get the feeling he's just being a good travel host, saying, I wouldn't want you to, step the wrong way or get lost and things like that. Not that you needed, phalanx of people to protect you when you're going around.
Yes, we appreciate and thank you for that. Certainly this isn't anything we want to bet our lives upon.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yes, quite.
Well, you said you could answer a bunch of questions, and I have a plethora of questions to ask you. So you said that you have been here for a long time, but you look like, no offense, but you kind of look like a kid. Yeah? I mean, I know the Tibetan people, they look young all the time. It's very hard to tell how old they are, but you do not look like you have been here. There are some very strange things that happen here. I'm going to go back to the rat thing with the tentacles and whatnot and the fucking monsters. What the hell? You guys have monsters here. There's no monsters where we come from.
Eloquent as ever.
Everyone you see around me are either citizens of the city or anything you see around me that speaks to you, that is sentient, are, members of the city or members of, the land. Time passes differently here. You came to us from a place where the walls between your world and mine are very thin, so there is lots of back and forth between them. Obviously, it's more back and forth from your end than our end. We all are quite content and happy where we are, so we don't venture into your world very often. But that is one area of your world where our worlds are closest together. So the traveling between our worlds is very easy, or easier than it could be in other places around the world. So you will notice that everything here is definitely different than what you're used to, but to us it's just normal. It is the way it is. I'm sure if I traveled to your, what did you say you owned? A club? If I traveled to your club and was given your hospitality there, I'm sure I would find things there very either off-putting or unsettling or out of the ordinary.
Mostly off-putting, I would presume. Yes.
Not if I'm working.
Especially if she's working, my liege. Yes.
Well, hold on. But there wouldn't be a fucking monster with a face with a thing, and he's like waving his arms around and shit.
I wouldn't be so quick to say that. Monsters. Okay.
Petra is eyeing you very nastily.
So I would just like to reiterate that is actually not part of my city. So I cannot be held responsible or cannot condone the troubles you ran up against coming through the cavern. That is not part of what I am in charge with having oversight of. But I'm sure there are areas in your world that if you travel through that are definitely very dangerous or risky and could be populated with things that would mean to do people harm.
Well, you could like put up a sign or something for people coming in and be like, hey, there's a fucking monster over here. Run through the cavern. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. This has been a very trying day.
So he kind of has a smirk on his face and looks over to you. Oh, the three of you, he kind of takes all three of you in at once. His eyes move back and forth and says, I have traveled through that passage before. And from a saying I picked up from someone who came from your world a long time ago, without risk, there is no reward. Now, is there? Kind of smiles.
Wise words. Wise words.
Yeah, he just kind of like shrugs and nods his head like, yeah, it's,
And then he puts his hand up and again says, I apologize for the troubles that you've been through, but the little friend that you were speaking to helped you through there because obviously he took a liking to the three of you. So I know it wasn't the easiest of journeys, but if it was so easy, then I would definitely be speaking with, a lot more of your people than I have over the years. So consider yourselves not lucky. Consider yourselves one of the few who have been able to do that.
I think Rizzo just wanted to mate with my coat, but I'll take it.
Let's get down to brass tacks then, if you will. If we were to, say, go out and search for artifacts and different things, and it would be all right with you, what are some of the areas that you would recommend we go? Just so we know where it is okay for us to go and where you wouldn't want us to step foot, so to speak.
You would be able to travel around the close environs of the city anywhere you want. If I was to recommend places for you to go, I'm sure you saw the passing ships when you were coming in. You would be able to take a trip on one of those ships. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be going anywhere on business, but I'm sure we could arrange for one to just take you on a trip to see around the local area. There is a very esteemed member of our society here who I'm sure would love to speak with you. He is always striving for information and news from your world. So I would recommend also speaking to him. And just if you would just like to take a look around, the only thing I would ask of you is to, if you are being treated with kindness and hospitality, that you would not take advantage of that. And by that, I mean treat others here with the respect that I'm treating you with right now.
Yeah, it's a Buddhist thing. We get that. We come from Tibet. Yeah. It's fine. Hey, so if we happen to maybe find some things around, what's the policy on maybe taking that stuff home?
So he looks at you and kind of raises his eyebrows and says, "So if we're going to talk about the Buddhist thing, as long as you are treating everybody, as long as you are treating every living thing with respect and admiration, then that's the only thing I'm focused on in my city, is making sure everybody is happy and healthy and contented." So
Yeah.
he looks. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We were told not to kill anything.
That would be a very good thing to stick to.
Yes, what's the deal with that? Is that like a policy or something?
Because I mean, where we're from, we can kill things and wear them, and it's socially acceptable.
This is so strange the way you're putting this.
So the king looks over to Petra and says, "Everybody's norms for the way they live are different. We would just ask you to respect ours while you are here. We won't judge what your norms are from where you live, but we would expect you to follow the norms of the people you are visiting."
But if something's trying to kill us or eat us, we can defend ourselves and kill them then, right?
Yes, if you do not go out of your way to antagonize or inflict harm on anything, if you are protecting your own life, then obviously that is an exception to the rule.
Petra is going to look at Vinny with a...
So the king kind of looks at Petra and kind of cocks his head. Petra, can you give me what's a good
Just as she opened the loophole, he shut it down as justice.
No.
Is it like an insight? Is that what we're going for? Like maybe psychology? Not sure what you're going for.
Yeah, I know. So I just wanted to try to pick something out from the character sheet. 1 second. Give me a
Brawl check.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say roll for initiative. It's the wrong game. Just make
a taxidermy check.
Just make a luck roll.
All right. Hold on. Luck is. I'm just trying to find luck on my screen. Oh. So I rolled a 22, and my luck is 30.
Okay. So he looks at you, and his eyes kind of wander down a bit.
To my boobs?
So he's the eyes are up here, but he wanders down a little bit and just says, "My dear, we have a very extensive library with lots of information on very esoteric knowledge. On top of the visitations of the local holy man I set in, if you did want to do a trip on the flying ships, I would recommend you spend some time looking through some of the knowledge we have in our library." And then just kind of looks away and says, "I hope everybody's enjoyed their refreshments. If you would like to go, as the dear lady said, if she would like to have a nice bath and maybe get refreshed, I can have some of the men here show you to some rooms."
Yeah,
that's most gracious of you. I accept.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's been a long day.
Okay. So, he bows his head and says, "You are more than welcome to summon me or come back to this room whenever you like. I usually am here praying and meditating and reading. And if you ever have any questions or anything you would like to discuss, I would be here at your service."
Well, thank you very much for your hospitality.
And he bows his head, and then you see a few monks. I guess one monk for each of you comes up, and they kind of gesture down a side door, a hallway, and the king says, "Please let me know if you would like to take advantage of any of those excursions that I had mentioned. Just come back to this room and let me know, and I can get those sorted out for you."
Again, thank you very much. And he bows his head. He gets up. He helps Petra up.
We're gonna go on one of those flying ships, right?
I don't know. Is that fucking safe? The ship was flying in the air. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Maybe we can get that guy to do some reading, and then we'll be all set.
I guess maybe. Maybe we could do a flyover. Maybe we could see big piles of fucking gold from the ship up in the air, right? Yeah?
Oh, I'm getting hot. That would be amazing.
So good.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, for sure, baby. For sure. He slips an arm around you.
Okay, so if you guys want to go to just go to your rooms. Let's say it's late afternoon, so it's not like nighttime or anything. So I know Petra said she wanted to go get refreshed, have a bath, change some clothes, all that kind of stuff. You guys can go. You can go do that. You have free reign of the palace. It's not a huge, gigantic place, but you guys can wander around in the palace if you want, or I'm sure Petra's going to take a nice long bath. I don't know if Vinny and Darryl would want to do that also. You can, go get changed. There's some local-ish kind of clothes laid out, or I don't know if you guys brought your own changes of clothes kind of thing, so you can, go ahead and do that.
Darryl, definitely. I'll change into the local clothing, and then I'm going to look around the room. I want to do some searching of the room, see if I can find anything of interest.
Okay. While you are, you've gone and changed, you're walking around, the one monk who led you, who took you to your room, came back in and says, "Excuse me, sir, but there are some visitors here that would like to speak with you, or you and your fellow visitors. I don't think they did not tell me that they would want you all summoned together, but they are outside and they would like to speak with you."
Well, Daddy.
Oh, shh. Right at this right now, right at this very moment.
At your convenience, they said that at your convenience.
I do believe I will see the visitors. Yes. Perhaps with my companions though would be a better idea, and it would be best. No.
They said it was up to you. So would you like me to go summon your friends also?
No. Show them in, of course.
Okay. So I'm assuming you're in your room. So the monk backs out and bows, and then you see three monks walk into your room.
The start of a perfect joke.
3 monks. They're 3 monks. They're wearing emerald green robes, and each of them is wearing an emerald mask. So like emerald, I mean not just the color emerald, but emerald. So it's a mask with some eye holes cut out, and then mouth cut out, and some holes where the nose is, but they are proper emerald masks. So they'll walk in and bow to you, and one of them will kind of step forward and say, "Greetings, we are representatives of the Emerald Llama."
Do you always go around obscuring your faces in this manner? Please remove your masks so I may look upon your faces.
Unfortunately, this is part of our ritual. This is part of our devotion to the Emerald Llama. Everyone who follows him wears these masks. It helps us to realize that even though we are individuals, we all serve the Emerald Llama as one.
I do appreciate that. Please come in and let us speak of what exactly is the Emerald Llama?
He is a very wise and powerful.
Please say llama. Please say llama. Please say llama.
I didn't want to say llama again, but I guess I'm going to have to. He's a very wise and powerful figure in this in our world. And when he had heard that there were some visitors here, he sent us to talk to you because we had a run-in with a we had a run-in with someone from your world in the recent past and wanted to get some information from you.
Who was this person you had to run in with? Do you know his or her name?
It was a man who had tried to make it to the city. When we had made ourselves visible to him on the pathways to the city, we did not even get a chance to discuss anything with him, and he set about trying to attack us.
You revealed yourselves to the man while he was trying to get into the city, you say?
Correct.
Interesting. Why wouldn't you have revealed yourselves to us as we were trying to get into the city?
There were... So the monk kind of stops for a minute and says, there were some circumstances while you were traveling to the city that we did not feel we were up to getting involved with.
Didn't want to bet your life on it now. Yes, I did it again. I'm sorry that you came into some troubles. What exactly do you want from me?
We don't necessarily want anything from you. The Emerald Llama would like to give you a gift to take back with you, and if you ever happen to see this person again, if it is someone that you are acquainted with, we would like you to pass on this gift that we're giving to you to him also.
You want me to pass the gift you're giving me on to the person who attacked you?
Yes, it is. It is something that the Emerald Llama would want you to pass on to this other person. While it's in your custody, or while you have it with your person, it will not cause harm, but it is intended for the person who attacked us.
Ah, interesting. I will be a mule for a vengeful gift. Oh, this is delicious. Yes, I will accept your offering, and if I do happen to see this person whom has not been described to me at all, that's just hitting me now. You don't have a name or a description or anything. I would be completely unsure of who this person is.
I'm sure the king has discussed with you that there have been visitors to the past to the city. It is not as often. It does not happen as often that someone trying to make the trip would not be noticed, and they would definitely not get lost in. They would definitely not be forgotten.
Okay. Yes, I accept your gift, and I will confer with my my companions on the matter and see what we can do to help and accommodate.
Thank you very much. So the monk who was speaking kind of bows, and one of the other ones steps forward and shows you. He hands you. It's kind of
A
like
little llama statue, a little llama statue, a little llama statue.
Fingers crossed.
He hands you. Let me see how I can share. It's kind of a wooden. I couldn't click quick enough. So he hands you a wooden framed kind of square. So I'm not good with doing anything in Photoshop. So everything that's red on here, just think of it as green.
Yes. Well, I'm colorblind. I see reds as green, so of course it works for me, no problem.
So this is just, it's about book size. It's not super huge or anything.
It's like it's a plaque. Is it like is it a solid piece, or is it like a?
Yeah, it's wood. It's wood, and then this is obviously painted on it. It's of one piece, so it's a piece of wood. So.
Darryl looks at it in awe, and I thank you very much for this. Am I to just pass it along to this this bad evil person, or is there anything I'm supposed to do to sort of incant and to allow it to its magics and its vengeful abilities to come forth?
So the Emerald Llama just recommends you pass this on to pass this on. Let it leave your hands whenever you find this person, and your rewards will be forthcoming when that is done.
May I ask what exactly will happen to this person? If I'm going to be the vehicle to which your vengeance is delivered, I would like to know the manner of its curse.
Then you're muted.
Buddy, here's a pillow. Okay?
Kevin.
There you go, buddy.
This Emerald Llama person is freaking me the F out. He's staring at me blankly through his emerald mask. This is the inner monologue of Darryl.
What do you want, honey?
He stared at me through the emerald mask, deep into my soul. And I do believe I had to catch myself before I fainted and succumbed to my own wistful insanity.
Oh, we lost Kevin for a minute. He couldn't
And
unmute.
then my own breath was lost and caught in my throat as I attempted to bow forth and forward, and in deference to him, this Emerald Llama's messenger to me. You're back.
Yeah, don't share your screen because then somehow it takes away all the controls about muting and unmuting. So the monk says you can rest assured that you are not passing on any kind of physical harm or violence to this person.
Okay.
Your conscience can be clear on that.
Oh, all right. And Darryl will just sort of gaze down into the design work and just kind of get lost in it for a minute. I will do this for the Emerald, of course.
Okay, so they hand you, I think it's called a mandala. You know, the wooden thing. They bow and kind of back out of the room, and you are left staring at this kind of. I'm not going to show you.
Darryl is yes. Would you mind sharing your screen again, Darryl? Darryl. I am looking at this. I'm trying to sort of pick up anything I can from any of my years of experience with the occult and artifacts of this manner.
So, do you have any kind of occult or anything?
Oh, Jesus, I would think I did that. No, there's nothing on the line. It just says 5%.
Okay. Well, you can roll that, and then just go ahead and give it as a fly, and then you're also going to make a power roll after that's done.
All right. So the first roll is a 42. So I guess that's.
So you're just looking at it. It just looks like a Tibetan-y kind of. You've seen lots of things like this, around the city. This one's a bit particular because you've never seen anything kind of like this one. But yeah, not anything that jumps out at you. And then
Darryl laughs at himself. He goes, "I'm betting it's Tibetan." And I got more. I have at least 3 more of these coming out in just a quick moment.
No.
And what was the other one?
power.
Pow?
Yeah.
What the hell is pow? Oh, there it is. 70.
Upper, yeah.
70. 23. So it's below 70, right? Is that
Nailed that?
Like a hard success.
Yeah, exactly. So
I succeeded so hard on that one.
So when you're looking at it, you couldn't pick up anything just from what it is from the other roll, but you with the power roll you can feel that this is something of power. It is something mystical. You don't feel that it's causing you any harm or uncomfort or anything like that, but you do feel this is some kind of it is a piece of some kind of powerful it's a relic that is important and powerful.
I have been given a mighty, mighty quest. I shall not fail. The Emerald Llama. And I'll just kind of tuck it I'll put it on the bed and just kind of like sit on the bed for a little bit looking at it.
Okay.
What is power? Is that power?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while you're staring at it, you're you start having thoughts of once I deliver this, if I can find out who this goes to. I know you do get the feeling that there will be some kind of, from what the monks told you there, that there will be some kind of reward or benefit to you from handing that off and doing this.
Maybe
then
one of those masks. That would be good. Now, and just for me, just to have an idea, was I given anything other than like do I have any way to sort of try to find who the person is other than I'll bring this up with my team, of course. Did they give me any sort of anything else like that?
No, I think they were just saying, there are visitors to this world or this city. It's not super duper often. So, whenever someone does visit, it does kind of, or tries to visit, it does kind of stand out. So it's not like there's constantly lots of people.
Nice. I'm sure it's probably someone who'll be bragging about it. Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
And so while you're staring at it, you also get this feeling, you've done quite a bit of, as you said, you are a dilettante, you're a gadabout, you've had quite an adventurous life. Maybe when this is all over, maybe this will be a spur for you to do some writing, maybe to write a book or write a play about your life, or, you feel that you have, done quite a few things that even if it's not to go make tons of money or have a bestseller, that you definitely want to get your story out to the world because you feel you've done lots of interesting things and people definitely should know about it.
I have received inspiration. My life has now a path. I will write a play. That's what I'll do, yes.
About a king in yellow?
Yes.
And I read it.
In a mustard, the king in mustard colored clothes.
Come on, they said the green llama. They didn't say yellow.
Yeah, yes. Yes. The green llama. He will bestow me a gift of inspiration.
Okay. So Darryl, was kind of checking out his nice little thing. It's probably getting on a little bit later. We said that was, afternoon when you guys first went to your room. So it's, early evening now. So is there anything you guys want to do? Do you guys want to meet back up, talk to the king, or do Vinny and Petra want to do some of their own kind of individual things, exploring around the castle or the palace? Or
Petra is getting the most expensive soap on their little shelves and washing up with it and taking a bath, and that's it. No exploring, just relaxation.
Clearly, stealing all the little travel sizes of the shampoo.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna bribe those kids back there with them. Look at the magic.
So Vinny's then dejectedly sitting in the bedroom by himself.
Okay. So after, we'll say that was, early evening. So everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Vinny's kind of pouting.
He probably changes. He probably washes up and changes into the clothes that they left.
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably brought, because it was going to be a couple of days, so I'm assuming they brought traveling clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But figure as a sign of respect to kind of wear the garb that they provided, so they kind of fit in.
Okay. So when you guys are doing that, the monks who had showed you to your rooms come back in, and each of you individually just says, that if you would like to come down and refresh yourself, there's, some food and drink down in the room with the king. You're more than welcome to come down and partake. And it's they're inviting you back down. It's not an invite, saying, you're being summoned. I think from what the king told you, he's kind of just floats around, and he's usually in that room anyways. So it's not like it's any kind of formal summons or anything like that. But it is getting around the time, that it would be, dinner time if you guys wanted to go down and grab anything to eat or, do that.
I think before we went down, Vinny would go try and find Darryl real quick.
Okay.
So he, goes over, knocks on the door.
Darryl opens the door quickly and goes, Is anybody with you? And he yanks him inside the room and closes the door.
Hey, whoa, what the fuck? What are you
Look,
doing?
behold the gift from the Emerald Llama. And he shows him the mandala. Is that what you call it? Mandala?
The fuck are you talking about? It's a piece of wood with some shit on it.
Look at it. It's beautiful. Its intricacies. You have no appreciation for these things.
It looks like all the things they have back downtown.
Yes,
They have those things hung up all over the place.
This was given to me by some strangers who had come in. They were wearing emerald masks, claiming to be from the Emerald Llama. I am to find a man who attacked them in one of the caverns on his way into the city and give it to him. And vengeance will be delivered unto him through this mighty gift.
Did they tell you who it was?
No, they did not. They probably didn't get his name while he was attacking them, but...
Why the fuck are you gonna know who it goes to?
I'm sort of assuming that he's going to be bragging about this. Not many people try to make it into the city. I think we'll be able to find him quite easily. And then we'll deliver it. And the Emerald Llama's vengeance will be delivered upon him.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking terrific and everything, but we've been in Tibet for how long? We never heard nobody. Charlie's the first one that ever said anything about coming over.
Maybe it's Charlie.
Well, they said they didn't know Charlie.
Well, they probably don't know him by name.
Do you think it was Charlie? Well, that motherfucker, he left. He's not even around no more.
It never occurred to me that it might have been Charlie. He's a bit of a unsavory character, is he not?
I mean, he settled up his bill. That's all I'm concerned about.
Right. Yes, he settled up his bill all right, and now he's got another bill. A bill that he must pay to the Emerald Llama!
Sheesh. All right, okay, fine. You were excited about the llama thing. I understand that. That's great.
In the masks, they were magnificent.
Well, but look. That guy, I asked him like 40 questions and shit while we were sitting in there. He didn't answer not one question. Flying ships, monsters. I asked him how old he was. He didn't even say anything.
Maybe he doesn't know how old he is. Maybe that's how old he is. He's older than time itself. There, I will admit you are correct. There is some strangeness going on. No one seems to have any specifics about what they'd like to see done. It is very strange.
Well, he just wants to be happy and make everybody happy. I don't understand that at all. That doesn't...
Yeah, you don't really...
does that?
I don't trust someone who claims that's all they want is to make people happy. Nobody wants people to be happy.
I'm not saying I don't want to be happy. I'm just saying, like, if that's his whole purpose in life is just to make people happy, it seems kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
There's some real dirtbags out there, and perhaps maybe this is how they dole out their punishments and vengeance for all of that douchebaggery.
I don't know, but it's really strange. That's all I'm saying is it's strange.
I agree. No, I am in 100% agreement.
All right, so
nobody came to see you.
And he's just like, he kind of like, his head kind of drops, and he's like,
no one at all.
Nobody. I just, I got dressed. I've been hanging around. Yeah.
Right. That's, well, where's Petra?
Are you guys having a party without me? You just,
oh my God,
in the room.
Oh, it's Petra.
Yeah, come on in, hon.
And
Darryl yanks her in the room quick and slams the door after she gets in.
What is your problem?
I was
Grab me too. He's all excited about this Emerald Llama or something.
Behold the mandala!
Not gonna happen.
Behold the mandala! He shows Petra.
What's that? Is it a cow?
It is a mighty gift bestowed upon me by messengers from the Emerald Llama.
Vinny's just like making like mouth motions with his hand.
What is the Emerald Llama, and are they rich?
I don't know. I'm sure if they sold one of their emerald masks, they would be, so perhaps, or maybe they are just rich in spirit or potential vengeance, as this is a gift I'm to give a traveler who tried to come here and attack them.
Petra's eyes light up. Oh, wait. Emerald mask?
Yes, I know I asked them to take it off, but they wouldn't do it. One of those cultish type things. You know.
Wait, and so you're gonna what?
This gift is supposed to be given by me or us to this person who attacked them on the way into the city.
What is it gonna do?
Something terrible, I presume.
And
They didn't tell me. They just said do it, and it won't harm you or your friends at all, but it will only harm this person.
are you getting paid for this? Are you getting paid for this?
Yes, the Emerald Llama has promised me a mighty gift. And
What?
I believe it to be inspiration to do greater things. That is a kingly gift.
You should have negotiated better.
I'm not shallow. I desire things that appeal
All
to
right.
higher...
If we meet this person, we meet them. We won't go out of our way.
No. I'm not going to go searching for him. I don't even know what he looked like.
So one of the servants, not servants, knocked on my door and said that the king is going to have refreshments. Are we going down, or are we just? What are we doing?
Oh, that sounds lovely.
All right, put your cow away, and let's go.
There's nothing on this that looks like a cow.
That's an udder. Oh, that's not an udder. Oh.
Yes, of course, bulls don't have udders, so I'm not entirely certain what you think you're seeing. Oh, wait, yes, of course, yes, of course.
So that's a boy llama.
Yes, a boy llama. No, it's a boy llama.
You know, your story gives me an idea. Maybe I should talk. What is that supposed to mean? You're laughing at me now? What? Look, all I'm saying is, if these guys can give you a mandala that will wreak some kind of vengeance, all I'm saying is that I could maybe use something like that to greater, lesser effect in my in my businesses and things. That's all I'm saying.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm assuming that the magics and the various incantations that are involved are only supposed to interact with the person who has wronged them. So I'm not certain how you would sort of use that in your daily business, but perhaps when it's all over, they can teach you how to make one.
I think I might. I think I might ask about that, because that might be a useful skill for me to have to, make sure that my business operates as it should.
I think that's a wonderful idea. In fact, I plan on asking the king himself who this llama is. And tell him that I was visited. Completely transparent, our operation should be with the mighty king.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully there's no, weird power struggles or something,
Oh,
we see that back in New
there
York
is.
sometimes.
Yes, the power struggle would be quite interesting to see. Yes, of course.
It could be messy, though, is all I'm saying.
I wonder if there's a way that we could bet upon who might win it, if we wanted to bet on who may win a power struggle between two kings and our organization. I'm sorry. Yes, of course. We should go down for refreshments. Let us depart.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
After you, my darling.
Thank you.
Okay. So the monks kind of walk behind you. You guys are in front, so you go back down to the main room, and the king's sitting there, and he's having a drink, and he says, "Welcome back. Hopefully, you've had a nice, relaxing afternoon. Please sit down and have something to eat."
Vinny helps Petra sit. He sits down. He goes, "It was quite uneventful."
Other than that cow.
So the king looks at Vinny and says, I don't know if you've given any thoughts to some of the things you would like to do in the city. Obviously there were a few things that I pointed out that you could partake of, and on probably tomorrow, since it's a bit late this evening, tomorrow I can definitely have that set up for you if you would like to, do anything, see some of the city or do some exploring around the environs.
I do believe that resting the night and starting out in the morning is a very good idea. I will certainly be going to bed shortly after our meal here tonight. I would like to ask you, sire, to please enlighten us upon the Emerald Llama.
So he grabs his drink and takes a drink and says, the Emerald Llama is a religious leader in our world. Obviously, I had heard that some of his monks had come to meet with you or your party. He is, as I said, a religious leader, so he tends to not get involved in any kind of civic activities of anything around. So he kind of limits himself to matter spiritual.
Would you consider vengeance of a retaliatory nature a civic matter?
When it comes to the Emerald Llama, I've found that he breaks the world down into people who are with him in his pursuit of knowledge and perfection, and those who are against him. So he tends to keep focused on, as I said, matter spiritual.
So you're either with him or against him. Well, that's certainly flexible enough. He
doesn't go out of his way to involve himself in matters not of a religious nature. So if he feels like he needs to get involved in something, it's usually because there has been a slight against him or a slight directed at him. So
it is exactly this slight that I was asked to deliver a gift for someone who had attacked them on the way into your wonderful city. Now, they've given me very little information on this person. I'm wondering what you have to say about something like this, as I was visited by 3 of these messengers with their beautiful emerald masks.
So, my dear visitor, I would not try to skirt the issue, but...
Please don't. Please pants the issue. Yes. Yes.
I tend to keep myself above any kind of petty squabbles that happen with the Emerald Llama. As I said, if he came to visit you and was singling someone out, it is really not of my concern. And as I wasn't party to, I'm assuming, what you are describing, then I would I would keep myself apart from it. So he's saying as himself, keep himself apart. He's not talking about generally. So if you had discussions with the monks and the llama, then the Emerald Llama's monks, then it would be up to you, your decision, if you want to continue with that.
Does he take visitors? I mean, maybe we should go talk to the monk or the llama himself.
I think the only interaction you would have with them is what your friend has just had now. So he does not have a place to visit or a central location to see him at, like a palace or a temple. He is a bit ethereal, so he does wander a bit. So I think the only interactions you would have is when he would want to interact with you. So he takes a drink and says, if if this is something that is bothering you or weighing on your mind, then the holy man I mentioned may be able to help you with that. He's very wise and knowledgeable. He's been a part of this city. He's been in the city even longer than I have. So he would definitely be able to help if this is something that you would like to extricate yourself from.
It's not so much that as it's just my main concern is being able to identify the person I'm supposed to bring this gift to. That is my concern.
Unfortunately, I can't help you with that. While you're staying in the city, or while you're not in your world and in this world, if there is something like that is bothering you, then I can assume that maybe the Emerald Llama would send you some more information before you go.
Oh, based upon my interactions with his monks, I won't hold my breath.
But as I said, if this is something that you would like to back yourself out of, there is always a risk of that, but the holy man in the city may be able to help you with that, if that is something you would like to do.
I'll have to think about it, as I'm not entirely uncomfortable with the idea. But, maybe perhaps. I don't know. Maybe in the morning after we've done some of our, had our tours around your wonderful city, I'll reevaluate the situation.
Okay. So the king just goes and grabs some more to eat, just sitting there. So do Petra or Vinny have anything they want to bring up?
Petra's just taking it all in. She's ready to go to bed.
Okay.
Get ready for the morning of adventure.
Yeah, I mean, Vinny just be like, yeah, we were thinking, maybe we take one of those flying ships around and kind of get a lay of the city and, just sort of see what's what, Those things are safe or what? I mean, I assume so. We've seen them flying. I don't quite, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they're absolutely safe, I can assure you. And if that is something you would like to do in the morning, I can get that arranged and have the monks wake you at an appropriate time in the morning to do that if you would like.
I think so. Yeah.
I too would enjoy seeing these flying ships.
That would be fun.
Okay. So, it's just a bit of small talk. The king's just eating and drinking, and I'm assuming, the three of you are just, chatting. Nothing, unless there is anything consequential you want to bring up. It's just going to be some dinner chat, small talk, that kind of thing.
I mean, I think Vinny would try to over the course of the conversation, here and there mix in that guy's been here for a long time too, blah, blah, blah. Trying to get some information at him because he knows he's probably not going to, but he would just sort of slip things in and see if, something slips or.
So he kind of frames it the way he framed it before. The perceptions in this world are different than the perceptions of your world. Things that may seem strange or off-putting or astounding to you. The king says, I'm sure if I made a trip over, it would be the same for me over there. So he's just he's not being helpful, but he's not being unhelpful. He's just, saying that's just the way it is. Look, it's weird anywhere. If you're from a different place and you show up, it's all a bit weird. So he's just kind of leaving it very vague like that.
Okay. That's pretty much what I figured would happen.
Yes, Vinny, you must open yourself up to new experiences regarding other cultures. This is going to be quite enlightening for us all.
Yeah, I'm sure that it will.
Especially literally seeing how we'll be on a flying ship, it'll certainly be enlightening. Oh, I'm drunk.
Okay. So, so the dinner kind of wraps up. The king says, I'm going to take my leave of you. Please have a restful night's sleep. And everything will be set for the morning for your trip, and I'm sure you will enjoy it very much. So he kind of bows and backs up and walks away. And the three monks who were taking you to your rooms before, they show up back again and are ready to lead you back down the hall. They won't take the lead if you three are walking. They'll just kind of walk behind you. They're just kind of making sure they see you off, and once you're in your room or once you all get together and are chatting, they'll disappear if you guys want to get together and chat before you go to bed.
Are our rooms in the same area?
Yeah, it's all kind of in the same area.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if they walk us back, Vinny would linger by Petra's door. And be like,
Darryl laugh and disappear.
If you need anything, just I'll be right here. You know
what I really, really need right now?
Yeah, what's that?
Sleep. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, it's been a long day. So I'll see you in the morning.
And Petra really does look tired. She wasn't being a bitch.
Yeah. Darryl's probably like down the hall, just like sniggering. I'm assuming
you can hear him in his room.
He's such an ass.
So Vinny goes in and just like flops down on the bed and just passes out.
Okay. So since Vinny's had a not very happy day,
Poor Vinny, Jesus.
So, Vinny flops down. I'm assuming he's kind of frustrated, so he's still in his clothes or anything. Just flops on the bed, like cursing and, being a bit grumpy. Kind of just drifts off to sleep. And once you drift off to sleep, John, can you make me a power roll?
Ooh.
I can certainly try.
Is this to avoid the... No, never mind.
58 out of 50.
58 out of 50. Okay. So you're dreaming. It's a very vivid dream. But you are up in the flying. Yeah. It's the way this dream's going to go. I'm sure it'll
extremely vivid. Yes.
So Vinny's
he was a young boy again.
Oh my gosh.
So Vinny, you're dreaming and you're up in the flying ship. It's just you. So Petra and Darryl aren't there. No one else is there. It's just you kind of looking over the side of the flying ship when it's going. And you can see you lift off from the city and you're going out, and down below you see all kinds of hills and mountain streams, things like that. So the first stream you kind of fly over, you see something reflecting off something in the stream the whole way up because it's going up a mountain. And when you look down, it's just looks like it almost looks like a stream that Gold Panner would go to, but you don't have to do any panning. There's just lots of gold kind of in the stream itself. So you're flying over, you fly over that, and then you go over another big mountain. You come down the other side, and you kind of see a plateau. It's kind of barren. It's it's kind of rocky and I was going to say sandy, but it's just there's no vegetation or anything covering it. And when you look down, you see all kinds of the sun hits it, and there's all kinds of green sparkling laying all over the ground. The ship kind of goes back, turns off another way, flying back over. On the side of the hill, the sun hits it, and you see just a bunch of like red glints, scattered all, down the side of the hill. And then when the ship kind of comes back and, comes back towards the city and just sets down. And so you have a picture in your mind of, you don't have the path that the ship went, but, it kind of left the city, and not far outside of the city, you see all these different things when you're looking over, the gold and the green sparkling and the red sparkling on the hill. So it's just, it's all kind of right outside of the city, but, you don't have the exact kind of mappings of it, but in your mind, you're like, wow, that's kind of right out there, and it's just all just kind of sitting there. It's not very far away.
Sure.
and then you kind of drift back down out of the dream. You're kind of still sleeping, but something registers in your mind that you had a dream, but it was a lot more vivid and a lot more real than a dream was. And so you kind of, obviously you were coming to bed from a very grumpy place, so now you've kind of rested back, and now you fall asleep with a nice big smile on your face.
All right, cool.
So I'm assuming Petra, once you went back to the room, did you go right to bed, or did you have a drink or have another bath or anything?
I fondled my jewel for a little bit and then went to bed.
Thank you very much. So that leaves us. So Petra, can you make a power roll?
I would love to. I rolled a 24, but I don't know what my power is. So, power of 80.
Yeah,
Good.
I was gonna say yours is pretty high. So, so you're drifting off to sleep. In your dream, you're kind of on a cliff. You're like kind of on a cliff edge. So it's not anything you recognize. It's just you've lived in Lhasa for quite a while. You lived in Tibet. Now you're in this place. You're used to seeing cliffs and mountains everywhere. So you're just like in an edge of a cliff with a big chasm. There's a big divide over to where the other side. So you're kind of looking around, and you have a bit of feeling of trepidation, not danger, but you're looking kind of like, well, I'm here and I can't get anywhere. I'm kind of there's no bridge or anything. So in the dream, you can feel yourself grab the jewel and then kind of place it up on your forehead. And when you do that, you hear kind of the beat of wings, and they don't sound like wings of like a bird or a bat. They sound very, very, powerful beat of wings. So while you're sitting there, you can see something above you, and it kind of lands right next to you. It's kind of standing there, maybe about 20 feet away, kind of looking at you. I was going to share my screen again, but I don't want to screw it up. Let's try it one more time. So standing next to you in your dream is... 1 minute. Share is this. So you see this standing next to you. It's about 20 feet away. It's kind of staring at you. It's not, it's not doing anything. It's, kind of just landed and stopped right there. You're still holding the jewel up to your head. And in your dream, you then take the jewel and place it back wherever you hid it. I'm assuming you were hiding it back in where you hid it before. And you walk over to this, and then it kind of crouches down, and you hop up on its back, and then it lifts off and flies you back across the cavern, over the chasm, onto the other side. Once you get to the other side, you kind of hop off. It stands back up and kind of looks at you, and it flies away. And while it's flying away, it kind of just takes off. You take the jewel back out and are kind of holding it. And once you place it to your head again, it kind of seems like it kind of like winks out. Like you can see its path flying away. And then once you touch it to your head again, it looks like it just disappeared, like it winked out, like it didn't fly away till you can't see it. It kind of just disappeared. So when you replace the jewel back where you had it, and you kind of drift off into a nice, comfortable sleep.
Woo. I'm glad it didn't eat me.
Okay, so that's Darryl. Darryl sleeps a nice, relaxing night, thinking some more puns up in his head and giggling in his sleep. And
oh my gosh!
Definitely spooning the mandala. I've got it in the bed with me. I'm hugging it.
Okay, so it is morning. You don't get woken up too early. While it's still a bit early and you're kind of drifting, you're starting to come out of your sleep. You can hear some chanting and praying, but it's not anything that would disturb you or wake you up. It's just kind of subconsciously you hear it in the morning, and you kind of, you all just kind of wake up. Once you're awake, you see that some water and some fruit has been set out in your room sometime in the morning, obviously before you got up. And some, if you had put on some of the local clothes, just some more local clothes have been set out for another change if you wore some from yesterday.
Darryl would change.
Yeah. Petra would definitely change, but still keep her fur coat on.
Okay.
Vinny's got his. So I'm not sure of the garb exactly, but he would have his shoulder holster and pistol like underneath like an outer wrap, so it wasn't like super obvious.
Okay. And then, are you guys all going to meet up outside your rooms? Is someone going to go grab one of the other ones, or are you just going to?
I'm sure we'll just meet up.
Yeah, we can meet up for breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go back out to the main room, you see the monks were just kind of standing in the main room where the king was. The king's there. And he says, "Good morning. Hopefully you've all had a very pleasant night's sleep. If what you had planned on doing today is still off, or still the order of the day, we are it would be ready to go whenever you've had a bit of refreshment, and you can set off whenever you would like."
Hey, let me ask you, you guys got like coffee here? I'm starting to get a fucking headache.
So, unfortunately, all we have is some tea. And I'm sure from your past experience, it's usually butter tea, but I'm sure we could make some regular tea for you if you would like that.
That sounds like some legendary tea to me. Product placement. Sort of.
So yeah, they'll give you some nice strong black tea without all the butter on it if you would like that.
Yeah. He would definitely have some of that.
So is butter tea a real thing? Because I kind of want to try it.
I've seen recipes where you can make it, but I've never taken the plunge. But it's pretty.
Is the recipe brew coffee or brew tea and put a spoonful of butter in the tea?
Yeah, but I don't know if you're supposed to use a specific kind of butter, though. That's the thing, right?
Oh, okay. So not like Brummel and Brown.
I don't think so.
It's got to be like actual, okay, like real. Right.
Okay, so the king's just eating and drinking. You guys are all eating and drinking. So he did have, if you wanted to do the ship daily flight, he said you can do that whenever you would like. There's also the mystic, the holy man here, if you wanted to go visit him. So it's really up to what you guys want to do. I'm going to go grab a drink. I'll be right back in 2 minutes. That's all right, and I'll let you guys decide what you want to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
So do we
airship.
The airship,
wonderful. Yeah.
or do we want to do your emerald thing?
I think the airship. I mean, because Petra was interested in that to start with, and then after the dream, like Vinny would want to see whether or not the ship takes the path that he remembers from his dream. Like he's kind of excited to do it now because he's like, we talked about doing this, and now like I saw this. Weird thing, and it was, it seems so real, and we can kind of like get landmarks then. If you're like, he says don't kill anything in the city or whatever. If we think we can kind of get out and just like take some sacks and like stuff them full of gold and shit, like let's do it.
Hell yeah!
Definitely airshipping it.
All right.
I mean, we can always talk to the holy man later.
Yeah, and I don't say this. The holy man sounded like it was a way to get out of delivering the mandala. I don't think Reggie. I don't think Darryl would want. I think Darryl's into it. Like he wants to deliver it. So I don't know. Unless someone has another reason to speak with the holy man, I don't think Darryl's too concerned.
I mean, we could just maybe get other information.
Right. Like yeah.
Maybe he won't be as cagey. I assume he will be, but maybe not. I mean, But so, like, if we had this conversation in character, Vinny would say, if you think that, the guy's going to come in and brag about it, maybe we just hang the mandala up in the club, and then if the guy were to come in, maybe it just does its thing in proximity. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
That is good.
Unless you physically have to hand it to the guy, But maybe said guy would be drawn to it and be like, "Oh, what's that?" And you're like, "Oh, really? You want to take a look? Here you go."
It did sound as though I was supposed to hand him it in person, but I would guess it probably doesn't matter who hands it to him as long as it's handed to him.
Well, I mean, if it, if the guy happens to come into the fucking bar, maybe it catches his eye, and it's good for us, right? And then we get whatever the reward is.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, we should have this whole conversation like this, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you guys, if we're going on the airship, I got to tell you about a little dream I had, because I flew last night in my dream on a dragon, and it didn't eat me.
On a what now?
A dragon. I think it was a dragon. It was a big creature with scales and teeth.
I had a dream too, and I was on the ship by myself, and as we flew out, there was gold and like emeralds and rubies and shit like all over outside the city, just like laying around. You could just stuff them in your pockets.
Whoa.
That sounds like a delicious dream.
I'm telling you, it was pretty good. I was it was nice. What about you, Darryl? You dream anything last night?
Absolutely nothing. I slept like a baby.
Well, all right. I mean, maybe you got some kind of mental protection with that the thing that the Emerald Monk gave you.
I think so. That the mandala speaks to me in ways I've never been spoken to before. It gives me ideas, things to run with, a purpose, a direction in my life.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so you guys have a plan of attack for today?
Yeah, we're gonna take the airship out.
Okay. So, breakfast is all done. The king says, once you get on the ship, it will be the three of you. It will be, there'll be one monk on kind of piloting the ship, but there won't be any need for a whole bunch of crew. It will just fly around, the city and some of the local areas, just so you get to see what it looks like around the beautiful nature and the setting that we're in. And then it should be back, around lunchtime this afternoon, and then we can convene again, have some more refreshments if you would like.
So just one guy, huh? Pilots that whole boat?
That's all it's needed.
I tell you, we got ships like that back where we come from, and you gotta get like 30, 40 guys on there. You're rigging sails and doing all kinds of shit. I don't know. I'm not no sailor.
Trying to come up with a good joke. You could say, well, so it's much easier to. There's much less resistance to the ship when it's in the sky as it would be in the water.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. All right, whatever you say. I got to run back to the room real quick before we go. Yeah.
It's ready for whenever you are all ready to go.
So Vinny runs back to the room and grabs 3 canvas bags. Because if he could talk the guy into putting the ship down, then we don't have to go trudging through the wilderness.
Okay. So go back out. You get onto the ship. So you go outside the palace. You walk it down a little bit. It's almost like a pier area. It's almost a dock where lots of shipping are. There's a couple buildings there. You're assuming maybe just like a warehouse or something like that. So the ship's there. It's down level with you guys. You can see the pilot on the ship kind of throws over Actually, no. So it's low enough because it's kind of on a cliff, so you can just climb on. You don't have to climb up any kind of rope ladder or anything. So you can climb onto the ship. He helps you get in, and goes back to pilot the ship. Rudder, wheel, and I'm trying to think what would be easier. It's too big for a rudder, so it'll kind of be a wheel. So almost like a ship wheel. So the ship kind of raises up, and then kind of takes off, and you're going up. There's some spots around the edge of it that you kind of look over. There's some holds, some hand holds, almost kind of wooden loops on the railing of it that you can grab onto while you're flying. It's not like you're being jostled or anything. It does actually feel like a very, very easy flight. You're not getting whipped with a lot of wind or anything like that. So it is very comfortable and not very dangerous or anything like that.
Vinny was trying to find the spot that feels like where he was in the dream to see if he can see what he saw before. Okay, so make a luck roll. All right. I probably should roll different dice this time. 37 out of 48. So maybe. Okay. So I'm going to roll E3. So the first thing you fly over is the kind of area where it's the kind of flattish plateau, with the green, sparkling kind of things. So you're kind of flying over that. You're probably, how high up are you? You can still see that. Maybe like 400 feet or so. What's a football field? It's what, 300 feet? Because it's 100 yards. Yeah, so like 300, 400 feet up. You can see. When you came over, you're going over the hills, there's enough clearance, but then when you're over a hill and you're getting down closer to flat lands, it drops down, but you're still about 300 or 400 feet, above kind of the ground, no matter what you're flying over. So he's just like, he's holding on because this is like, fuck that, we're in the air. And he's like looking over and he's like, hey, this is the fucking spot with the fucking emeralds and shit. Come here, look.
Petra is gonna look.
Whoa!
Are there emeralds?
Good eyes, good find.
This is just like the fucking dream that I had. It's the same plateau and everything.
You had a dream of this exact spot? My God.
I think so, yeah.
And emeralds?
Well, the green, right? I assume they're emeralds. Maybe, what else could it be? Emeralds, right?
Do we have them set the ship down here, or do we wait till after?
I don't know. Hey, guy! Could you put this ship down here, or what? So the pilot kind of looks over and goes, unfortunately, the way these ships work, we are kind of on a set course that we cannot set down at the moment. The way it is propelled through the air, we have to keep the forward motion going as to not run out of power and not be able to make it back. Oh shit! All right. Hey, Darryl, you remember how far this is at? Can you tell?
Exactly 43 miles. Is that too much? That's too much.
That seems like a long walk.
That's kind of a long walk. Yes, but I suppose it would probably just be maybe a 20, 30-minute walk, of course. So if everybody make a luck roll now.
Oh, failed that one.
Oh, no good on my end.
A 90.
I got 92. I got 90.
Did you?
I did.
I was going to say, if anybody made a luck roll, you just happen to have, a piece of paper and a pencil, so you could do some cartography. Is that what it's called? When you're, so you didn't write it down. So this one wasn't
the closest.
Well, but it also wasn't that far away from the city. So you can kind of, if you guys focus on kind of the environs around it and, the topography and what it looks like, you can get a pretty good, picture in your mind of when you go back and get some paper and pencil and draw it and that kind of stuff. But, I think Darryl was right. It really wasn't that far out of, of the city itself. the city sits in kind of like a bowl, so there's hills around it, and the palace is sitting there. So there is really kind of only one way you went out of the city.
Mhm.
So if you guys do, if you take a good mental picture of it, you'll just have to wait to get back to actually draw the surroundings, and it isn't that far from the city.
Oh, that's
Okay. Vinny would really be paying attention now because he saw that it was the same as the dream. So now he's like, all right, fuck, let's try to figure this out. What's the closest thing so we don't have to like fight all kinds of monsters and shit.
And
Yes,
Petra
yes.
is just like staring, trying to find some kind of sparkle.
Some sort of landmark to be able to remember.
So when you're looking around, you don't see lots of people around. There's a few spots where there's a monastery up on a hill, or there's a little shack next to a little plowed field, but it doesn't look like there's lots of habitation around. There's some, you do see some orchards, and obviously that's where some of the fruit that you're eating were coming from, but it doesn't look like it's very developed. It's not very farmed around. So you leave the area where that plateau was with all the green stuff. An hour or so later, you can kind of feel that you're doing almost like a loop, like a circle around. So, you can kind of feel the way the ship's going. You're standing there, you can feel it in your feet. It's kind of tilting to one side. So, you feel like you're just almost like making like a giant loop around. So the next thing you see is the hillside with the kind of sparkling things down the hillside. That's probably about an hour or so away from the plateau with the green sparkling stuff. So that's about an hour outside of that. And you're looking around. It's just hills and mountain streams. Maybe another monastery or two. You don't really see that many. There's not any animals or anything. You don't see like herds of deer running around, or you do see some birds flying around, but you don't see lots of game, on the ground itself. And then kind of loop back the next hour or so, you kind of loop back and you don't see anything other than just nature and trees and all that kind of stuff. And then you're coming back in, and when you're coming back in, you can see the hill that was kind of framed the palace in Celloface itself. So you're coming back towards the city. So out of character, you can kind of realize that you've seen two of the three looping all around, and you can deduce from that where the first one was. So
yeah.
And then when we get back, if you want to grab some paper and a pencil, I guess you can do I'm going to do a luck roll, because luck's always such a bad number. What's a good roll we can do? So if Vinny was concentrating super, super, super hard finding it, why don't you make like a power roll? Hopefully your pow's better than your luck.
No, they're both the same.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 50 and 50. Actually, my luck is down to 48.
Oh, actually 50. That's not too bad for luck. Okay. Yeah, I got 50.
What'd you do?
23.
Okay. So the rest of the flight, so the second you did see the hill with the sparkly diamonds and all that. So, but you didn't see the other part. I don't know. I'm assuming Vinny told you the whole dream about what he saw. So you saw kind of 2 out of the 3 things that were in Vinny's dream. But you kind of can deduce from that first part you kind of missed because you were just flying over. You kind of did like a big loop back towards the city. So we're going, you're back in the city now. Vinny did a very good power roll. So he's got whatever landmarks and, signifiers of the landscape. He's going to go write that down and draw that down on a piece of paper. So he did pretty good on that.
Awesome.
Okay. So the ship comes back and lands. It's around lunchtime. I'm assuming Vinny just like hurried up into the palace to go to his room and get a piece of paper and start scribbling. So before he forgot, so that's all written down. And the king's there, just kind of hanging out. He's actually reading do they have scrolls, I guess? Yeah, scrolls. So he's just, just reading a scroll and making some idle chatter about hopefully you had a pleasant voyage and got to see the beautiful land around my city. It is very breathtaking and striking, and it is, a beautiful place to be.
It was amazing out there. How safe is it? We seen like a couple of like houses and shit that they have to worry about the the monsters and whatnot out there.
It is a very safe area. There's not too many people who live outside the walls of the city, and most of the people are usually monks who live in the monasteries, or monks who set aside some land to work and meditate by themselves, almost a hermetic lifestyle. But it's a very safe area. Everybody tries to live in harmony with everything around them, and it's not like we have lots of guards around the city. There is no, lots of people under arms, so it is very safe. And the thing you have to worry about is just being lost because you don't know where you're at or where you're going.
Yeah, sure.
Are we going to take a walk after lunch?
I think we could probably do that and get out, stretch our legs a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Whatever you guys want to do. So the king says, you're more than welcome to, travel around the city, take in the sights, and whatever pleases you to do. That is up to you. It's your decision.
All right, that sounds good. Maybe we'll see you for dinner then.
I will have everything waiting for you whenever you come back.
Great.
All right.
So I'm assuming we kind of like go back up to the room and like grab like backpacks and shit like that.
Yeah, gear up.
Yep.
Well, I guess Darryl and Vinny gear up.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds fine. You come back out.
Putting on lip gloss is gearing up, just for the record.
All right, I guess that's fair.
Okay, so you're back out. You have all of your stuff. So I'm assuming you guys are going to try to. You have your paper with your map of where you went, right?
Yeah. So like I'm telling them as we're getting ready, like I wasn't on like the right spot for the ship to see, but we saw the other two things. So I think the fucking river with all the gold in it is like right as you leave. Like maybe not like right, like we got to walk a little bit, but like that's the first thing. So we just grab a shit ton of fucking gold, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
And then I guess we could get out of here.
That sounds right. I think to me, yeah. So that's why we're here. There's a lot of spooky things that have been happening, but I think we can probably just ignore all of them and just get the hell out of here.
Spooky things, just those creatures.
Yeah, the creatures, the emerald monks. Yeah, the strange ambiguity that everyone seems to talk with around here. Yes.
Oh.
Well, if they don't care if we steal all their fucking shit, then who cares, right?
Eloquent as ever.
Okay, so you're going to go off hiking, I guess. You have, I'm assuming, a bunch of sacks and bags and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So you're walking for a bit. You're just you can see there is kind of a pass outside of the city itself, kind of through the hills that kind of frame it around the back. You're walking through. It's maybe about an hour or so after you left. You're just kind of meandering out. Once you get through the pass, you're coming over like a small mountain stream. It's not very wide, but it does have some like wooden planks that are raised up that you can walk across. Once you get to the other side, it seems like all of a sudden it starts to snow a little bit. So it's just coming down. The temperature doesn't drop a lot. It's a little bit colder, but all of a sudden it just feels like, you feel a little bit of drop in temperature, and then it starts snowing. once you start walking, you're walking for about 10 minutes or so, and then it gets a bit foggy with the snow. So the visibility is down to, about 50 feet. You can't really see out past. And it's snowing. It's not like it's laying. It's just, some showers coming down. It gets foggy. Once you walk about 10 minutes or so through that, you come out of the fog, and then you can see up on the hill, there's like a monastery built into the kind of the hillside. It's a big hill. There's a monastery built in the hillside. And down at the bottom of the hill with the monastery, there's a bigger stream, kind of bigger stream coming down, cutting across, and you see a line of monks start walking down from the monastery to the edge of the stream. Once they get to the stream, there's kind of 2 older monks that are standing there, and then 5 of the younger monks kind of take their robes off, so they just have, kind of wrapped around them. They take their robe off. They go and sit in the cold water from the stream. The snow stopped. The fog's kind of drifted away. They come back out of the stream, and then they sit down and kind of like the lotus position on the edge of the stream. The 2 older monks go into the stream with big blankets, put the blankets in the water, come back out, and then drape the blankets over top of. So there's 2 older monks doing this, and let's say there's 4 younger monks kind of sitting along the edge who went into the water. The 2 older monks put a blanket covered in water on each of the monks. You can see them start to meditate. Their eyes are closed. While they're doing that, and about a minute or so later, you can see a bunch of steam coming off all of the robes of the monks sitting there. And the steam seems to be a lot more than you would expect just coming off someone who was cold. It doesn't make sense because they're cold, and they're also dumped cold blankets with cold water on them, and there's all kinds of steam coming out of it. So everybody make me a power roll.
Oh, shit. 56, I failed.
21. That's like 3 20s in the 20s.
46 pass.
Okay, so 2 out of 3 pass. Okay, so while you're watching it, the monks don't really notice you're there. The steam kind of, it's almost like building up like a giant fog on that side of the stream where all the monks were sitting. The steam all of a sudden kind of dissipates. You feel a big gust of wind kind of blow through and push it all away. The 4 monks get back up. The 2 older monks put the robes back on them, and they walk back up the hill to the monastery. And when you look in the stream, you see a whole bunch of glittering stuff in it.
Oh.
So does anything happen with the failed power roll or no?
Well, I was trying to see if 2 out of the 3 failed, then this wouldn't be the stream with the gold in it. So 2 out of 3. I was going to have you walk on it.
Oh, that's a cool way to do it.
Out of character.
Let's get on our hands and knees and start sifting through this riverbed.
Sifting shit? You just fucking grab that shit and start sticking it in a bag.
I was trying to be eloquent and poetic, but sure, fine. We'll do what you said.
Yes, just stick the shit in a bag.
Yeah, we'll do what she says. Fine. Let's just all get the shit in a bag.
Then he takes the pack off, gets down by the water, and just starts. If there's big chunks, just starts throwing big chunks in a fucking canvas bag.
Okay. And while you're doing that, you're just sitting there. All the snow and the fog and everything's kind of dissipated. You're just sitting there, loading stuff up. Give me what's a good roll? Is there a no? It's not no roll anymore, John, is it? It's
I think so. I guess it depends on what you're calling for.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spot hidden. So yeah, give me a spot hidden.
Okay. Where the hell is my spot? No, 50, huh? No, fail. 67 out of 50.
Okay, so you guys are just loading stuff up and putting all the gold into the bags. When you look around, you do notice that it's starting to get a bit dark, and just from your biological clock and your body's telling you really haven't been out too long. You haven't been too far away, but it does seem like it's getting a bit later than you would expect. For the time you were expecting it to be late afternoon. I think the king said that he would have did he say lunch back for you? No, he said he would have dinner because you guys got back around lunchtime. So he said he would have some stuff for you in the evening, but it does look like it's getting a bit darker than you expected it to be.
Hey, it's getting kind of dark, huh? What he starts like looking around and see if there's like monks doing like weird shit or whatever. What do you think? Should we get the fuck out of here? Well, we don't want to get stuck, yeah?
Do we have enough?
Well, I don't know. It's never really enough, right?
I mean, we could come back tomorrow, or we could just get out of this city and go back to your club.
Yeah. I mean, if we didn't hurt nobody, we could always come back. I mean, we got to figure out a way to get out of here.
I believe the king did offer a way out. Maybe he has some insight into the best way to leave. Of course, we'll tell him what we've done, and I think everything will go fine.
I don't think we need to tell him what we were doing. He didn't seem too concerned, so no harm, no foul.
Transparency.
Hey,
Are you a politician? All those lies.
I am certainly not a politician. Stop tapping into my meta-hatred.
He's a pragmatic Englishman, is what he is.
Yes, all sort of pragmatism just flowing forth.
Well, look, maybe we should table that for now, and just not, we'll just let that, we won't say anything.
Of course, I see. A discussion to be had later, of course.
Sure, yeah. After we left.
After we left, we'll have a discussion about whether or not we should tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, of course. Fine.
So yeah, I guess we'd like grab a couple more handfuls and then, like try to start heading on our way back. Then.
Okay. So you kind of traverse back the way you came. There's no obstacles or anything when you're walking back. The kind of snow shower that you ran into before with the fog seems to have dissipated, so there's not anything there. It takes maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours to get back to the path through the hills around the city. You're back in the city. There are some kind of torches, but there's some lights around the city. There's not like street lamps or anything, but they're not just torches out. But there is some illumination around the city. It is dark. It seems to be a bit darker at night. A bit later at night. If you head back to the palace, you can. There's the two guards standing there. They just nod to you, so you can go ahead straight back. And if you want to, you can either go to the room with the king first, or you can go back to your rooms first. It's up to you either way.
I think we go back to our room and
offload.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a heavy load.
Okay. So you can all dump your stuff back. You can decide if you guys want to meet up and talk amongst yourselves, or if you want to go back to, the king's room and grab something to eat or drink or discuss anything with him.
So what do you think? We go down, have dinner, and then get the fuck out of here in the morning, or what?
Yes.
I love it. Yes, and then once we get the fuck out of here in the morning, we'll discuss whether or not to tell the king.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
After we're far out.
I'm on board.
Okay.
Right, that sounds good.
Okay, so you dump all the bags and everything in your room. You head back to the the king's room where he's sitting. There's more stuff laid out, some drinks. So he said, hopefully you've had a nice adventure, a nice evening out strolling. It's a bit later than the past night or so when we've all met, but I'm glad you're all back, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourself.
It was quite invigorating.
Yeah.
It seems kind of weird though. It didn't seem like we were gone for as long as we thought maybe we were, but then like it started to get dark, and now you're saying it's kind of late. So is the time get weird over here too? I don't know.
Yes, what gives?
Time seemed to pass all right with me here in the palace. I didn't feel anything or see anything untoward, but as I said, our world operates a bit differently than your world. So sometimes things like that happen. It wouldn't surprise me if that is the case, but I'm just glad you're back safe and sound, and you've had a wonderful day out visiting the city.
The city is lovely.
Yes, but I miss ours, so let's get to bed so we can, go home tomorrow.
I'm sorry, get where?
To bed.
Thank you.
So if it is your wish to leave tomorrow, that is absolutely fine. I can set up a guide to take you back to the edge of the city for you to travel back, or you can make your way back yourselves and do. It is your decision.
Is there an easier way to come and go from here without having to with the tentacles and shit?
There might be an easier pass above the cavern. It depends on what time of the season is. I think you should be lucky. It should be clear to take that path if you would like. I can send some guides with you in the morning to take you to there, and you can make your way back.
Do you know where that comes back out in our world? Are we going to be in some place we're not shouldn't be?
The parts of the city in this world and your world are closest where you came through, so you should be back into the general area that you came through when you came to visit us.
Oh shit, I don't know. What do you guys want to do then?
No, I'm sorry. What he's saying is that yeah, if you go back, whether you go through the cavern or if you go kind of above it, which kind of leads the same way, they should take you back to the general same area. Those two areas. Yeah, those two. I'm sorry. Yeah, I framed that the wrong way. Yeah, those are the closest to each other. So yeah, it should be fine. You should be going back the same way.
We're not going to wind up in London or something.
No, everything should be fine.
I've got a bunch of shampoos for those little kids. So I don't even my lipstick. It should be good.
The way back, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, we can maybe we'll take that other pass because that other place. Jeez, that was a little bit rough going.
That was scary.
Okay, so the king says, I will send some monks to guide you in the morning. It's a bit late to make that trek tonight. So, have a good night's sleep. And in the morning, I will bid you farewell and send you good luck on your travels home.
All right, that sounds good. And he pulls out like his bottle of whiskey as like not as a peace offering, but like as a share of hospitality to share a drink with the guy, not knowing whether or not he's had distilled liquors before. Maybe he's showing him something new.
So he smiles and says, "Thank you very much," but then he picks up his own glass and pours some water or juice or whatever in it, and says, "I will stick to what I know best," and kind of raises his glass to you. But you're more than welcome to partake. This is a night of celebration and joy, and let's have a wonderful evening.
Oh yeah, for sure. So he pours out glasses for the three of us then, and clinks glasses and
Nice.
yeah.
Cheers.
Okay. So I guess there's just a bit of carousing and drinking, and again a bit of small talk and chit chat. So if you guys are ready to go to bed, I don't think there's anything else the king or any of the monks. They've had a nice evening with you, so it's up to you guys if you want to go back and head to bed and get ready for the morning to head back home.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody give me, if everybody's settled into bed, everybody give me a power roll.
Ooh, 40 out of 50.
Okay.
40 out of 70. I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
48 out of 80. I'm good.
Okay, so everybody passed. So starting on my paper, so Vinny, while you're dreaming, while you're sleeping, you start dreaming again, and that the path that you went to on your first dream, and then obviously the path you went on when you took the flight, becomes definitely more clear in your mind. So they kind of overlay on top of each other, your first dream and then the actual trip itself. So they kind of, layer on top of each other, so you can kind of see the route that you kind of went. So it's definitely a lot more clear in your mind. So, when you wake up in the morning, you can grab the paper and a pencil, and kind of fill in some of the missing spots or missing landmarks that you had when you were in between the dream and the actual flight itself. So that kind of makes that map kind of more concrete in your mind. Petra, you have some more visions of your flying friend that came to visit you, and
Yes.
while you're there, you also kind of see some more outlines of some other people. So they're not very distinct. You just know there's some other people with you around when you summon the flying thing. But when you do it this time, there's more that come for the other people that are with you. So each of you have your own kind of thing, and then you can see each of you individually off flying on these things and going across, and doing that, so you can see that it wasn't just you that when they were summoned, it wasn't just one for you. Some more came because there were more people in your party. So when you first started thinking of it, there was one extra person and one came, and then a couple minutes more, a couple other hazy outlines of people in your party came, and then some more of the flying things came down for them also. So that's kind of what you get in your dream.
And what did Petra do to summon them in the dream?
It was you had the jewel, and then you just placed it to your head again. So it was the same kind of thing. And then once you were done, flying with it, when you landed somewhere, you got off and then placed the jewel on your forehead again, and then kind of it flew away, and then it kind of winked out and disappeared. Okay, and then for Darryl, I'm assuming Darryl's sleeping, holding his mandala. So you have this kind of, it's not a very concrete feeling, but it is a feeling that, you will take this with you if you are able to hand this off to who is meant for, then there will be some kind of boon for you once the mission is complete, or once this has been accomplished. But also you feel that you see yourself going through different places. The mandala is with you, like different cities that you're traveling in that maybe you've never been to before, and the mandala is still with you, and you kind of get the feeling that it won't be. It's not like an overriding compulsion to have to do this. It's more that, yeah, wherever I go, I'm going to take this thing with me, and I will eventually, be able to hand this off or complete this request from the Emerald Llama. It's something that I'm going to do. It's not going to be the be all and end all consuming thing of my life, but yeah, I will try to get this. I will try to get this accomplished, because if I do, I know there will be some kind of reward for me in the end. And then everybody just has a good night rest, rest of the night sleep. And, again, early morning when you're coming around, waking up, you can hear, some of the chanting and praying again. When you wake up, there's some more, refreshments in your rooms. And it looks like the clothes that the outfits you had worn when you first came to the city are now laid out. They look like they're a little bit, they're a little bit clean and, better than they were when you first came in. So that, all of your original clothes are kind of set out in the room when you wake up.
Nice.
So I'm assuming everybody kind of gets dressed and is going to head back towards the main room with the king for breakfast.
Yep, I think so.
Okay. So the king invites you in and says, I'd just like to thank you all for spending your time with me. It's been it's been a pleasure and a joy, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourself in my city, and I wish you speedy return and all the best for the days ahead. Kind of raises a glass as a toast and takes a quick drink.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Yes, quite.
Okay. So he says, if, once you are ready to go, I will, have the three people here who have been helping you the past couple of days. They will take you to the edge of the city, back to the path, so you can make your way back home.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your hospitality. We appreciate that you would let us be here and, kind of give us the run of the place.
It has been my pleasure. So he, he kind of bows to you, and he looks over to the three monks that are there, and shakes, nods his head to them. So they're kind of at your service whenever you're ready to go. I'm assuming you kind of left all your stuff in your room. You didn't bring it all down to the, checking out at the hotel. You get all your stuff down to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. So they'll go back to your room, and they'll stand outside the door, and they'll wait for you to come back out. And if you start bringing stuff out, they'll offer their arms to help you carry some stuff if you want them to, or you can carry it all yourself. It's up to you.
I think Vinny would let them carry some stuff. I mean,
Okay.
they're a lot heavier leaving than they were coming in.
Mm.
So speaking to that, so the stuff that you've gotten, not the stuff you came with, so the bags you filled up yesterday, does Vinny have them all, or have you split them out?
I assume we split them, right? Like, he wouldn't have been able to carry, sacks full of gold. So
Okay. I think the cat just jumped on his keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay. So Darryl, for the Mandela, are you going to put that in the bag with the, all the gold nuggets and stuff, or are you going to carry that? Are you wrapping it up and putting it away somewhere when you're heading out?
As we're Darryl would put it in his satchel. He'd bring it with him.
Okay. You just wouldn't be carrying it out with you or anything.
Right. It'll be like, it'll be in the bag. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So while you guys are walking out of, the palace, the monks are carrying each of your different things. Obviously, you've split up some of the bags you filled up yesterday. So, when they pick up all of your stuff, they kind of, each of them, individually kind of realize, these were the guys that helped brought you in. So they obviously realize that you're leaving with more than you came with, but they're not, it's just kind of like a smirk, or, one of them picking up the bag and kind of giving like a grunt saying, oh, lifting up, wow, this is a bit heavy. It wasn't heavy coming in kind of thing, but not anything verbalized, or, there's no shitty grin. There's no shitty look on their face like they're mad or anything. It's just kind of like a smirk and a smile while you're leaving. So they'll walk you back to the edge of the city, and you'll get to the edge, and then you'll look down to the left, and is kind of where the cavern where you originally came in. And then kind of up to the right-hand side, there's like a path through the mountain, path through the hill. So the one of the monks will say to Vinny, because Vinny was kind of in the lead coming in, said, just if you follow that path up through there, there will be there'll be a bridge across, and it should be about a day's travel back to your world. And just stay along the path, don't deviate from the path, and everything should be fine.
How safe is this path to coming out? I mean, because the other one was no good. So this one's good then.
As long as you stay on the path, you should not have any problems.
Okay, well that seems like that should be easy enough. Hey, if you see that little rat guy or whatever the fuck that thing is, tell him we said thank you, and maybe we'll see him again.
And they kind of look at you, and you say rat, and they kind of piece together who you mean, and they said, yeah, we will pass on your message for you.
Yeah, he puts his hands under his chin and
And Petra's gonna pat Rizzo on the head, on the tentacle. Well, not the tentacles, but the head.
Well, he's not there right now.
Oh, the rat. Okay, I thought we were saying the rats. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm telling the monks to.
To tell them.
I mean, unless he shows up, whatever.
Yeah, but he's not there now. So if you make, so the monks kind of bow and walk away. So they're going to wait till you start, walking up the path until you get out of view, and then they'll turn around and walk away. So you guys are walking for about an hour or so. And I think he said in total it might be a day to get from this side to the other side back to, back to your world. So you're walking up the path. You can see in front of you there is a big deep chasm. There is kind of a bridge going across it. So let's start walking across the bridge. It's probably about, let's say, 30 feet across. It's kind of like a wooden bridge. So the three of you it's single file. And so let's start walking across the bridge. Everybody give me, what can we roll? Can we roll? Spot hidden.
Yes.
Ooh, 47 out of 50. Just made it.
Okay.
88 out of 55. Did not happen.
Spot hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a 60, and then there's like a 25%.
Yeah, so just roll a 60.
All right, well, I rolled a 25.
Oh, you rolled a 25, so you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said next to it. Okay, so Vinny and Darryl kind of look at the bridge while they first start stepping on it, and it seems to be not the sturdiest of designs. You're a bit concerned going over the bridge, especially since you're now weighted down with a bit more than you were carrying in, a bit more weight. And when you look across, you can see across on the other end of the bridge, there is a little kind of thing there that has tentacly stuff hanging down from his face. And he says, if I were you, I would not try to cross the bridge. It almost fell when I walked across.
But they told us to come this way and go across the bridge. What the hell are we supposed to do now?
Yes, what exactly is going on here?
I'm not leaving my bags.
So the little friend, I guess you called him Rizzo, right? So he looks at Petra and says, I think you may be able to help everybody get across a much safer way.
Oh, how's that?
So he's looking at your eyes, and then his eyes kind of drift down a little bit from your eyes. It stares a little bit further down.
I mean, these help everybody, but that was just a dream.
Oh, come off it. He's looking at your chin.
That was
Further
just a
down.
dream.
Talking about.
He's looking a little further down than your chin.
All right, wait. So, you remember that dragon creature and everything? In my dream, I could summon them, and they didn't eat me. They gave me a ride across the river, and then I could summon them for my friends, and they gave my friends a ride too.
So wait. You're saying that you think that you could summon a fucking dragon right now?
I mean, I dreamt it. If your dream about the emeralds was true, then this could happen.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it was exactly the same. Hey, I had the dream again, and I filled out the rest of the fucking map. We'll be able to find everything if we come back.
Oh, nice.
How did you summon the dragon?
Okay.
Woo! I put the jewel on my head. And
Okay.
that's what Petra's going to do.
Okay. So Petra, can you subtract 6 from your POW,
Sure thing.
and then 6 from your magic points,
Okay.
and then roll me a 1d6.
1 second. And then 6 from magic points. Magic points. Where is that?
Magic points is...
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, MP, magic points. Yep.
And then a D6?
Yeah, D6.
3.
Okay, another one.
That is it's an X. It's a 6. Because I have
Okay, and one more.
Okay. I had to check. A 4.
Okay. So that is 13. Can you take 13 away from your sand?
Yes.
Whoa.
That's a big hit.
So they're each individually. So there's the 3, the 4, and the 6. So I think the only one you would have to roll sand on is the 6. So, because that's the way it goes, John, right? If you lose more than 5 at one time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started out at 8.
Or it's
Sorry,
like 20% within an hour of game time, so that's probably a shitload too.
Yeah, but 20% in an hour of game time would be 20, right? No, 15. Yeah, 15.
I think that's
so it'd be 15. So you would just roll. So you lost 3 first, so you're at 77.
Mhm.
So then you lost 6. That's 71. So go ahead and roll against 71.
Okay. Ooh, 88.
Okay, 88. Then so from the 71, just make it down to 67 so we know.
Okay.
So you I forget what the mechanic is now. God damn it. I should have remembered. So you lost 6. You failed your sand. Now make a no roll.
Okay, I rolled. Oh, that's not the right dice. It's a 20 something. It is a 21.
Okay.
And I don't know what my no is.
I think it's your edu, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's just education.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you pass that. So you're fine. You don't have any kind of break or anything. You've just kind of realized that you've done something very strange, but you're not looking more into it. You're just saying, okay, yeah, I had a dream about this. So dreams are usually pretty good, and the dream told me what to do, so I'm not going to ask any questions after that. So after you do that, all of a sudden, you guys, Darryl and Vinny, hear these wings beating, and all of a sudden these big, I guess dragony looking things kind of land each about 10 feet away from each of you. So Darryl and Vinny, give me sand checks.
All right. What is my sand?
Uh-oh.
48. Ooh, 36. I made it out of 48.
Darryl?
Yes. 50, right on.
Okay.
Nice.
So you guys each lose 1 sand.
Ooh.
Yes.
Holy shit, it's a fucking dragon!
Yeah, I told you.
I choose to refuse to acknowledge the existence of what I've just seen.
Okay, so while you're all sitting there, the things kind of put their head down a bit. So I need everyone, all 3 of you, to make 1 more sand check.
Oh shit, we're gonna get on these fucking things.
10. I made that bad boy.
11.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you
Oh
crit
my
your sand rolls?
I don't know because I just rolled an 100. Can you?
Oh shit.
Oh.
Actually, no, I take that back. I read this wrong. So you guys already rolled the sand. Shit, you're lucky because you rolled 100. So you're fine with sand. What I needed for John and what I needed for Vinny and Darryl is to subtract 1 POW each. My fault. That's my bad. That could have been really good if you rolled 100, but I didn't want to completely screw you. So John for Vinny and Darryl, subtract 1 POW.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So you get up and you Petra goes over because she's obviously seen this in the dream, so she gets on the back of the Shantak, which these are, and then it turns around and is getting ready to take off over the crevice, and I'm assuming Vinny and Darryl are gonna follow suit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Straddle that beast.
Okay, so the Shantaks lift off into the sky. They start flying over. Petra looks back down and sees Rizzo kind of staring up at her from the other end of the bridge. You're flying for about 15 minutes or so. You're going over some hills and high mountain peaks. You start going through some fog, and the visibility is very low. So all of a sudden, let's roll this. Let's take this 100 and roll it into something else for Darryl. So while Darryl's flying, he hears a voice in his head and says, "Don't forget, you have a mission that needs to be accomplished, and Charlie is waiting for you." So
I will not forget.
Okay, so Darryl, roll a d4.
Oh, a D4. Ooh, one of those. D4.
You rolled a 4?
1.
Okay, so double that. So subtract. So you've lost 2 more sand. So
Great.
you get the feeling from the speaker in your mind was from the monk of the Emerald Llama, and he obviously told you that it is Charlie that now you need to go find and deliver this to. So you guys are flying through. You come out the other end of the fog. You look down and you just see a whole bunch of forest. So it's really, big fir trees and pine trees and things like that. So it does look, it's a lot more forested than any of the areas you were looking when you came through the cavern. And then the Shantaks start angling down towards the ground, and once they set foot on to the ground, you guys hop off, and they all 3 of them kind of look at Petra, and you're all standing there after you get off of the Shantaks, and they all kind of look to Petra.
Petra will do what she saw in her dream with the stone, taking it down and kind of dismissing them.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you all look around, and like I said, it's a very heavily forested area. It doesn't look like it was the exact spot when you were coming through. So I need 6. Vinny's 1, Petra's 2, Daryl's 3. So Darryl, roll me a d4.
I will do this thing. 2.
Okay, 2. Darryl kind of looks around, sees a kind of a road cut through the forest, and looks over and sees a sign that says, "Welcome to California, home of the famous redwoods."
What?
Oh, shit.
What?
California?
Fucking what? California? That motherfucker said the thing was right by the other spot.
This is not good. At all.
I mean, if we're rich, who cares where we live?
I mean, I suppose that is true, but the club, I gotta get back. Holy shit! Is that like that's got to be a sand check, right?
Yeah, sand check.
Ooh, I got 100.
Yay, we are rolling nice.
Okay.
Oh my
I gotta roll
god.
that.
Are you kidding? So you made me lower the sanity.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm at a 67, and I just rolled a 69.
Oh, that's funny because I just rolled a 96.
I was at 70. You lowered me down, and now I'm insane.
Okay, so Darryl and Petra roll a d4, and John, you've lost 4. So Vinny lost 4.
All right, that's fair.
So I'm going
3.
to say that's where you fade out. Where you guys all look around and say, "Holy shit, we're in California," and lose some sanity.
Oh,
Damn it! You and
I
your
want to see what the hell's gonna happen here.
dragons.
You know,
Cool.
It was a d4 roll for location though, so that's why I picked that. It was whatever the roll was is where you ended up.
My D4 roll, that last one was a 4.
You fucked us.
So you lost 4, Darryl. So
For
look at it this
sanity?
way. Yeah, 4 sanity. 4
All
more.
right.
So Dani said she wanted to keep going, so I can't let you guys go back to Tibet. That'd be too easy.
nice.
There you go.
I want to see what California's like. And next time we do this, I will try to dress in character, and I won't be so fucking sunburnt and possibly sun poisoned.
That's not good.
No, I was legit in the not just in the sun for like 6+ hours, but in the water. Like I didn't get out of the water, like floating on a tube, and I'm like, oh shit.
That takes a lot out of you. When we used to go down to the beach and you'd come home just exhausted.
Oh, the kids were having a great time, but
You're playing skee ball down at the shore too much.
oof.
Yeah. Air hockey. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I hope you guys had a good time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
That's fun.
yeah.
These are good games. Because we RP everything. So it's like we probably could have done both of these sessions in like
Right.
3 hours.
We're talkers. Me not so much tonight, and especially if but I'm ailing.
If we keep doing it, I'll build it in so we can have a bit more of the role stuff. But it's fun doing Cthulhu because there is a lot more RP. You have to build up some more. It's not like you guys are like a fighting party, so I didn't want to have a whole bunch of that kind of stuff with roles. So, but yeah, I think it works really good with all the RP. It is a lot of fun.
I thought maybe you were going to hit us right at the end with one more gug or something, as we're like running out the fucking crevasse, shooting wildly behind us.
Well, that was the thing with the Joel to summon the Shantax. It was either that or you'd have to go through the Gug again. But I thought it'd be cool to do the Shantak with the flying and then the sanity and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yes.
Very cool.
I'm excited.
Good. I had a good time. I'm glad. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun.
Yes,
Definitely.
thank you.
Thank you for
time, I'll
running.
not be so
Very
quiet.
welcome.
Yay.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, right?
No, it's Sunday now.
Well, it's
Yeah,
still
look,
Saturday for me.
There's the sun outside. 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. and it's friggin' already super bright out. So
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, you're a trooper.
Hey, Jack was hanging in the chat for a while too. He's over in the UK as well. He was like, "It's too fucking late, but I gotta watch."
That's just awesome.
he's up from watching the England game anyway, so he's probably still too wired.
Yeah, probably. Cool. Well, definitely thanks for running. Thanks you guys for playing.
yeah.
Maybe we could try to schedule something before like 4 months.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know me. I'm up anytime. So whenever you guys want.
Oh yeah, I should say though, I won't be wearing that fur coat during the summer here on Rhode Island.
It's a little
Next time we
warm
play-
now.
Yes, next time we play in winter though.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Alrighty. Good night, everybody. Oh,
Good night. Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank everybody for playing. Thanks everybody for hanging out in the chat and checking this out later. I don't know when any of these Cthulhu things are going to hit the SoundCloud feed. It's a ton of work trying to get the regular episodes out every week. So at some point I'll have to make a concerted effort to start doing a Cthulhu release. We could probably do that for months and months at this point.
that'd be cool.
With all the different games that we have between this and the Invictus stuff, and maybe we get Oscar to run some Cthulhu. Maybe we can get him to run that adventure from the Kickstarter. His Kickstarter is running right now. If you're watching this or listening, well, you'd have to watch it because it's not going to hit the feed. Check out the Cthulhu Kickstarter. Congrats to all the Emmy nominees for this year. Two of our podcast friends, both Fandible and Miskatonic University podcast, have both been nominated for this year. So, man, it's like trying to pick between your kids trying to vote. You want them both to win. So, both good friends of the show. So we hope one of them pulls out the win. Again, thanks for checking this out. There's coffee for sale. Link in the show notes. Please check that out. Ratings, reviews on iTunes, super helpful. Podchaser, whatever your podcatcher of choice is, please do that. And we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.